thank you for reaching out and wanting to sit down with me. And I'm so glad you did. And I'm so glad we were able to fit you in to this crazy schedule of me interviewing people running for city council. So thank you for being patient.
No, and thank you for the accommodation. I've been a fan of your show ever since I first saw it. And like we kind of talked about earlier, I think you have a way of communicating with people and helping viewers see, the true sense of somebody's self, not just the politician all the time.
Sure. Well, no, that's the main goal here. How can I help people see the person behind the title? And speaking of the person behind the title, let's just strip away all your titles. So you are a friend, you're a daughter, okay? You are a leader in the community, which I just found out that you're leader of
Dragonfly Trails.
Dragonfly, I'm telling you, and I have seen them, and let me just say thank you.
Thank you for appreciating that.
Y'all have done a wonderful job at the trails, I'm telling you. And and you're also a fiance.
I am.
And what else titles do you hold?
I would say dog mom.
A dog mom.
My pups are very important to me. I mean, honestly. Aunt, auntie. I like how you guys say it in the South.
Auntie, come on, auntie.
But yeah, I think we said friend, daughter, spouse. I try to be a community leader.
Yeah.
And a volunteer.
Oh, so if you strip away all those titles, who is Becca?
Oh, good question. I think I would say I am a Midwesterner, so born in Detroit, Michigan, but learning to love the South and call it home.
Yeah. How long have you been here?
A little over a decade. And I will say there was 5 states I really did not see myself living in. I have lived in 3 of the 5.
Really?
Yes. And Texas, I spent a little bit of time in Oklahoma for work. And then Georgia, I never thought I would live in the South. And here I am 10 years later, loving it, calling it home. Yeah. And now, maybe becoming a larger part of the political space here.
I love that. Becca, what's your favorite car?
Favorite car?
Your favorite car. Like, just give me your dream car.
Oh my gosh. That's a good question. I don't know. Okay. I don't know that I have something that's, okay.
Come on. You got it. It's in there. It's about to come out.
This is going to be wild.
Okay. Tell me.
A Model T.
A Model T.
You know what? It is. Okay. I don't think I could ever, I don't think I'll ever have one. So I was born in Detroit. So, Ford Motor Company was omnipresent. We have the museum there. And just last week, they had kind of, I don't know what models they are. There's like Model A, Model T.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of models.
But there was the brass. Did you hear about this? The brass something came to town and they drove through. And I said, you know what? That's the car that I would want.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that's your dream car.
I think so.
Okay. Mine's, and I have to say, because I interviewed somebody yesterday and they had exactly the same model, is a GMC Denali.
Really?
I want a GMC Denali. I want the seats to be peanut butter. I want it to be black. And I want the GMC, instead of being red, I want it to be black.
So you want black on black on black?
I want the black on black on black on brown, because the seat's going to be brown.
Right. Peanut butter.
Yes. And let me see, what else do I want? I want the tires to be not too big, but a little big.
Okay. Do you want like a little bit of a lift too?
I want the lift. Give me the lift.
So it's hard enough to get in?
Absolutely. And give me a flat screen TV in the thing, in the console. I'm good. Okay. All right. I just had to tell you that because one day I may be driving and you'll be like, oh, there's Matthew in his GMC.
It's so funny. We were on Macon Road this morning waving, and I was like, if I ever wanted a new car, I would just stand here and look at all the models come through. So it's funny.
And pick and choose.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's imagine that you and I are driving in your Model T.
Okay.
Right? And we're driving down the street you grew up on.
Yeah.
Tell me what it looked like.
Oh.
What did it feel like to grow up on that street?
Yeah, like simplicity and bliss. So
I love that word.
the best part about growing up on Bassett Street in Livonia, Michigan, we had all of these neighbors that also had kids. And so I was the youngest of 8 of us. So if I
Wow.
was, but it was like staggered. So if I was in 2nd grade, our neighbor was in 3rd, the other person was in 4th,
Okay.
5th, my sister was in 6th,
Okay.
the oldest one was in 7th. So it was, and there was lots of sisters. We had like 6, or I guess 2 sets of sisters and then a girl and a boy. You know, it was just like,
I love that.
and we all went to different schools. We were in different grades, but somehow it was like summer nights. You just run around, lights come on, you go home, and you were always ending up at somebody's house for dinner. Like it was just like a giant family street. Like the way you dream a neighborhood feels
love
like.
that. I love that.
Yeah,
Do you still keep in contact with any of those people today, or you know where they are? Do you follow each other on Facebook or what?
So yeah, we're not like super close, but we all come home. So at the holidays, we kind of see each other, and over the fence, we'll just say like, one's a nurse in Colorado,
Right.
and if we're home kind of at Christmas time, we'll just catch up over the
Right,
fence.
right.
Some of them still live there, and we'll just kind of wave. I mean, it's just it's interesting in life. Best friends you have at different periods of your life,
Yeah,
and some you hold on to forever. Like I've got
Yeah.
best friend from grade school, from high school and college, but my neighborhood girls, I don't know, we didn't stay as close as some of the other ones, and that's
Yeah.
just life.
No, that definitely happens. I definitely have some childhood friends that we still talk to this day. It's such a needed thing. Even as an adult, you need people from your past who have known you for a long time.
Yes, my best friend that I met in 2nd grade, Erin Henneberger,
Okay.
she came for the election, and she will be here for the election, and
that's
we have
sweet.
been through good, bad. When somebody sees you at your best and their worst, and they still want to stand next to you,
That's a person worth keeping.
that's a childhood best friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did your childhood teach you that that's valuable to you now in this season?
Yeah. So I think, so my parents were kind of like blue collar, and they worked extremely hard to provide a lifestyle for my sister and I to get educated. I was the first person in my family to go to college.
Wow.
And one of the things my parents gifted me, and they said, we have to work. We have to work every day, go to this job to provide, money and food for the table and,
Yep.
and that kind of thing. But they said, you have the opportunity to do something that you're passionate about, and you can make going to work every day feel like you're contributing to something, or that you're happy about it. You don't, you're not worried like, okay, here comes Monday, and
Sure,
that
sure.
that dread feeling.
Sure.
So I think my parents' hard work provided me the opportunity to really chase my passions, and I will never forget what they sacrificed for me to be able to do that. And I feel like that's a real honor and a privilege that I have, that I carry with me. I try to carry with me.
Yeah. Well, it seems like you do, because you're in the election right now. And Becca, listen, every person I've interviewed, not once have they said that it was easy to run an election. So you must be using those hardworking skills and that tenacity to get through this. Why run for city council now?
I mean, the bare bones is like, I'm running for city council because I truly think I can affect positive change in the community. I know that's so basic, but like that's the reason I'm doing it. And if I get elected and 4 years from now I wasn't able to do that, then that'll be disappointing to me. But I've got to try.
Yeah.
And for me, yeah, it's
love
like,
that.
so, I mean, really why I got into this, it's like, do you want to be on the sideline and be upset or feeling like maybe things could be differently if you were involved? Do you want to complain about it, or do you want to do something about it? And I've always been an action-oriented person. And listen, I may think I can do something and get there and fail, but I have to try. And I do feel supported by the community. Like, I've had people around me say, you can do this. You've done hard things before.
Yeah.
You could do really well in this position. And right now, just personally and professionally, it's the right time. And I also feel it's the right time for Columbus. It's, this is no surprise to anybody listening, but we're going to have a new mayor, a new city manager. We have some counselors already. I mean, this is a real inflection point in leadership in Columbus. And to believe that I can be a part of that new leadership change and do more and do something positive in the community is really why I'm doing this. Because to your point, it's not the easiest thing in the world. It's time consuming, and it's a lot of late nights and a lot of effort,
sacrifice.
And it's not just sacrifice it's one thing for you to choose to be in it and sacrifice your time and energy, but you're really affecting the people around you. I mean, for example, my spouse has done almost everything inside our house for our dogs. My board of directors for Dragonfly have stepped up in a way that I, didn't anticipate. And just the grace people have given me to go and chase after this because they believe in me. Yeah, it's powerful.
Yeah. Why District 7? Why not any other district?
Yeah. So I've been in Columbus for a little over 10 years, and my entire body of work in Columbus has mostly been in District 7.
Oh, okay.
I've lived in District 7 for 9 out of those 10 years.
Okay.
I mean, I felt like I knew District 7 really, really well, better than, going at large or something like that. I will say through this process, though, I know, and this, we can talk about this because it might come up, but, some of the pushback that I've gotten is that I know parts of District 7 really well. And I think that's a really honest evaluation. And I think if everything was, in hindsight, you wish you would have spent more time in every part of the district, because that's been one of the things that's been most difficult to overcome, is kind of this idea that I haven't spent enough time in all parts of the district. And I'm kind of...
Is that not true?
I mean, when I would have liked to spend more time in South Columbus before I ran for this position, because and it's not that I didn't spend time in South Columbus, but to get neighborhoods and residents to come out and vote for you, you've really got to build.
You gotta see your face. Yeah.
Yes, it's seeing your face. And sure, I've been to events in South Columbus and things like that, but it's building relationships that develop into a level of trust.
Sure.
And you've got to have some body of work that people believe in. And so, yes, have I been in South Columbus? Of course, but I have so many dreams and aspirations and projects I want to do in South Columbus, and I hope I get an opportunity to do them. But that's been one of the hardest parts, is just sort of this idea that I haven't been in South Columbus enough. I've done, murals on A.J. McClung, and we're building a trail in South Columbus and the Riverwalks in South Columbus, but I wish I did more, and I will do more. But
well, I think that's so honorable for you to say that and know how that may be received in this election, because I think it shows a lot of respect, but also shows that you really, really care about the people, particularly on the south side of Columbus, on District 7. Yeah. Yeah,
it's like being introspective, I guess, and I think that's what you'll find with me, I hope, is that, I know I have not shortcomings, but there's areas of improvement for sure. And I want to hold myself accountable, that I will come through and do the things I say I'm going to do.
Sure. What has City Council gotten wrong that you, in terms of District 7, that you want to fix?
I think there's kind of 2 areas that I think I can be most helpful. So the last decade, I have worked in a public-private partnership with the city. So what that means is basically I have run a nonprofit. We work with the city to accomplish things. Okay. And so through that relationship, you develop working relationships with city staff, and everything from a city manager, assistant city manager, directors, but then all the way down to like the folks that are cutting the grass around the trails, the folks that are pulling trash after an uptown event that I worked at. Right. I mean, you work with all different folks in the city, and I have 10 years of working with those folks, and I have a deep respect for what the city staff does. And I think what's been hard for me the last few years is to see council as a collective body maybe not maybe, I mean, to not treat city staff with the respect that they deserve. I mean, generally speaking, these staff members are working as hard as they can with the resources they have. And there are some resource strains that city departments have and with personnel too. So I'm not saying they're perfect, but I think there's a level of respect you have to have as a counselor. I think there's a level of collaboration you have to have with.
So you've seen and heard some disrespect in terms of these workers.
Yeah. I mean, it's on city council meetings. You can watch it. Yeah. And yeah, I think there's just decorum and respect we have to hold ourselves accountable to.
What do you think the biggest lie Columbus politicians have given to voters?
Probably that they say they're going to show up and they don't show up after election season. And I would say, and I don't even think that's just locally. I mean, I think that's state, national, all the things. But it's not just showing up. It's also the communication factor. So we have got to do, and not everybody in this community wants to be totally involved in local politics. But if there are folks that want to be involved and informed, you have to create pathways for which they are informed. So like maybe for you want a newsletter. Maybe for somebody else, they want a quarterly town hall. Maybe for somebody else, they just want a text message. It's meeting people where they are with the information that they want to consume in a way that is digestible to them. That's how I feel about it.
And how can you ensure the people that you are not one of those people that could be saying, I'm going to show up and don't show up? Like, give me, that makes sense?
Yeah, for sure. I think because like and I know not everybody knows me, but I mean, the last 10 years, I've been showing up in those spaces. Not every space, and I'm going to keep working on that. But I mean, I have been involved in this community, and I mean outside of my job. Like I've served on boards, I've volunteered, I've been running events that are just community events. And so I'm not just new to this space. But I do think that's something that I want to do a better job of is I think you have a responsibility as a counselor to the district that you're serving is to really show up consistently. And that's, I mean, I know it's time consuming and it's difficult, but that's what we're signing up for. And I want to be for me, it's important because I want to be the best version of a city councilor that I believe District 7, but really Columbus.
Do you think that District 7 has a crime and poverty problem? And if so, you running for District 7, how can you ensure the people that it will be different if you win?
Yeah, I mean, I can't guarantee it, that's for sure. But I do think there's a poverty issue. I do think there's a historic lack or under-resource. There's a lack of resources going to the South Side. And what I want to do is fight for those resources. And I think I can. Some of that is not just within city government, but it's like, can I use my relationships with developers to start looking at some of those properties and not to get in the weeds of what's happening on South Lumpkin, but in the South Side, we do have some momentum all the way to the west where like Synovus Park is, and there's going to be kind of like a battery like by the Brave Stadium, that sort of thing. And then on the other side of South Columbus, there's the Vector Center, which is workforce development. And then we have South Lumpkin, which is going to get a streetscape. There are and there's this, new small businesses sort of popping up. But how do you, I as a city, and I'm not saying this is necessarily a city councilor's responsibility, but I would like to leverage the investments that are happening already in South Columbus and like build some momentum. Like, how do we get a small local restaurant to consider opening on South Lumpkin? I mean, Oakland Park is the largest neighborhood, I think, in Columbus, or if it's not the largest, it's first or second. Folks don't want to drive to Uptown, to North Columbus to go to dinner. And I think maybe folks haven't thought about developing in the South Side enough. And I want to try to bridge that like gap. I want to be like a representative that's like, hey, let's look at this feasibility. There's all these people living here. There's folks coming to and from Fort Benning. There's opportunity here. There's already large investments from the city and from Columbus Tech. Like, let's start leveraging that.
Why does District 7, particularly on the South Side of District 7, why do they not get the funding that everybody else district gets, or even half of District 7 gets? Why is it always the South Side that looks so rough and then other half looks pretty decent, but not to part? That makes sense?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. And I think what, in all respect to everybody, not just city councilors, state representative, everybody, I think you have to have somebody that is every day going to think about fighting for resources in South Columbus. And that is what I'm telling you that I'm going to do. I mean, this is not a new conversation. The South Side hasn't had resources.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll get into the seat and realize there's some things outside of my control. But I have learned, especially working with the city, it's like you kind of got to keep pushing. Even you're going to get a bunch of no's. You got to keep pushing, and I think like that's what's happened with the trails. I mean, there was tons of no's we got, but you just keep fighting, and then you eventually get a little bit. And so I want to be like a little bulldog in there trying to get some investment in the South Side. And there's good stuff going on. I mean, the library.
Yeah, we just got a new library. Yeah.
The library is beautiful. There's a new donut shop that is crushing it on South Lumpkin. Raise.
And a new daycare that just opened up there. Yeah.
Daily Blessings.
Yeah.
The Goodwill that's there. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. Those 3 in a row.
Yeah.
And those.
And Camp David.
Yes.
Say in the Infantry Museum, all those things. Yep.
And those properties. The other thing I was in Raise and Daily Blessings the other day.
Oh.
Those properties are maintained so well. They are beautiful. Like they are taking care. So I'm hoping that there's a little bit of community pride too. Like, these businesses start coming, but also like a movement to really keep your property clean. And maybe we start to clean a little bit farther than our properties too.
Let's bring up the crime thing again, because I know it's a problem, and I have seen it with my own bare eyes, and I know a lot of people have concerns about it. What is your take on that? Like, what? Because you spoke about it a few minutes ago, but I want you to go a little bit deeper on what you mean by what you just said about crime.
Yeah. So it's a multifaceted issue, and I think there are some things that CPD and the Muskogee County Sheriff's Office know that, like, the general public doesn't know, and there is some sort of gang movement, things happening. And that to me is like, that is going to take a community-wide effort, but that's really got to be led by CPD and Muskogee County Sheriff's Office. But that doesn't mean, maybe they're addressing that specific part of crime, but community leadership, city councilor, this is sort of coming up right now. Can we start to find things, especially for the youth? Like everybody talks about kids not having anything to do. Well, whatever funding we're allocating to is clearly not enough. Like we are not doing enough. Whatever we're doing may be working, but it's not. It's the critical mass is not there enough that
it's not effective.
It's not effective enough. I don't want to take away from the people who are doing really good work, but it's like, if this is what I keep hearing, especially recently, like, we do not have enough for them to do. We do not have enough to do. Who is going to step up and say, okay, if the city needs to be responsible, let's allocate a significant portion of our budget to doing these things. And I do think there's, we've got to hold people accountable too, who are, if we're giving, community grants out or something like that, which we do, there are metrics, and we've got to make sure that if we're giving funding away, that we're holding folks accountable to doing what they say. But the common theme when I hear about, right now, one of the hot topics is the curfew. And I think everybody is in agreement that there is just not enough stuff for kids to do. But let's ask them, and I heard this because I was asking folks that work with kids. They said, it's a transportation issue. It's not some people think it's a transportation issue. Some people think there's not enough to do. There's not enough spaces. But like, let's gather that insight. Let's ask the kids what they think, or community leaders. Like I think of a Sherry Aaron who I've gotten to know on the trail.
Love Sherry.
She's she is ingrained in the youth movement. She knows what's going on. Or Shiara Richardson, she ran for District 7. I mean, these women have a relationship with the youth. Like, let's leverage them.
Let's ask them what's going on.
Let's get a little community session.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the biggest things too, Becca, is that there's not enough unity. There's almost just like there's so much division between different organizations and different programs and different things, but there's not enough unity. So because there's no unity to the kids and parents, it feels like whatever they're doing is not working.
Right. Because
you've got a program over here that you can barely run because the funding is not there. But then you have funding and you don't want to teach me what you know. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's almost, you're right. There needs to be some unity. There needs to be some more Sherry Aarons and some more other those people. So there needs to be enough that everybody can communicate and we could bring unity rather than division.
Yeah, and I totally agree. And it's like, who is that
person?
But that's the thing. It's not one person. It's like, if we care about this as the community, if we, listening to council meetings, it's like everybody is very concerned about kids and children. And it's like, okay, this is a true citywide effort. Yeah. Like we have all got to be, if this is important to all of us, like let's start working together.
Yeah.
It's a complicated though issue. I mean, it's like, we've got to put our pride aside and say, this is for the future of Columbus, and it starts with the kids.
Right. Well, if they can do it with other things, they can do it with the children.
Yes.
And so we need somebody like you with a bulldog mentality
exactly.
to go in there and shake it up. They can shake it up in the city council. And this is one of the reasons why people are leaving Columbus.
Yeah.
Because they say there's not enough opportunity. Now, people have different opinions about it, but in your opinion, why do you think people are leaving Columbus? And if so, what needs to change for people to stay in Columbus?
I think it's a lack of job opportunities. And that is the hardest part. And I'm kind of speaking specifically about folks our age, like this young professional.
Yeah.
Young professionals, I would say, is where I spend a lot of my time. And with sort of creative folks, artists, performers, etc., CSU graduates. I mean, it is, I am so burdened, saddened when you talk to somebody. Like I was just talking to somebody and they're like, yeah, I tried to make it here after my year after getting out of college, but my art was not supported here. Or it's somebody that's kind of in the middle of their career and they're looking for the next step.
Yeah.
And there's just one opportunity every 10 years. Yeah. I mean, I have a friend right now that's like, they're very talented and they just cannot find the next spot. And so like, how much longer are we going to allow that to happen? And now, don't get me wrong. Folks like Columbus Ahead, Choose Columbus, the Chamber. I mean, people are working on getting Fort Benning. I mean, they're working on getting more opportunities here. And one more thing. The entrepreneurial culture. We have entrepreneurs here, but how can we start to give them even more resources and lift and not... Startup Columbus is doing incredible work, but I want like a Startup Columbus in the South Side, a Startup Columbus in the East Side. Like sometimes the resources in certain parts of town or the needs are different. So again, some of the most, I think, entrepreneurial spirits are the ones that I've seen. It's like a family that's hustling to get kids to events, get food on the table, working multiple jobs, no transportation. I mean,
if we sit here 4 years from now and we are in, meaning you have won, and it has been a great ride. What do you hope has changed under your leadership for District 7 4 years from now?
I think it's a few of the things we touched on. I would love to see there be a very clear momentum in the Liberty District and in South Columbus, and that we are seeing activation entertainment, investment. And when I think about the Liberty District, I think we have so much authentic history there. Like
that's
getting like other cities are trying to create this. Like we have it naturally. So how do we lift up the Liberty Theater, but also the district too? Like let's start making that more active of a space. And again, I'm saying I know lots of people are working on this, but that in 4 years could look totally different than it does today. I also think in South Columbus, like so many of the storefronts don't have businesses in them. I would love to see that more activated. And then
they used to a long time ago.
And that was before my time, but and yeah, it used to be like a very, very happening place.
Yeah, sure.
And then, I got to go back to my transportation.
Come on.
I would love to see better public transit. And that's not just the trails. I mean, that's Metra. Can we get people to get out of their cars and walk and choose to walk to go out to eat or choose. And it's not just like, is there a trail and a way to get from where you live to the restaurant you want to go to? Is there lighting? Is there actually a restaurant? Yes. It's that whole transportation sphere. And now that is not going to get done in 4 years.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, no.
Let's start chipping away.
Yeah. What do you hope, or what do you want the residents of District 7 to know about you that hasn't been promoted about you, or is not on your campaign site or anything like that, or your Instagram? What do you want them to know about you so that they know that you're the right person for the job?
I think I would say that, so my fiance Miles and I made a decision about maybe like 8 years ago that we were going to invest in this community, our time, our talents, our finances. And so Miles and his best friends have several businesses like restaurants and things like that, and bars that help give people a place to go and dine and have an experience. That's amazing. I could choose to live somewhere else, but I want to live in Columbus. I want to be a part of the fabric here and the network, and I want to build this community so it's better for everybody. I want people to choose to either move back here, to stay here. I want people to feel like they have opportunity and that they're heard. I want people to just kind of see like my heart, and I think that's only something you can kind of experience the more we get to know each other and we work together. But I love this place, and I've been working my tail off for it for a decade, and like that's not going to stop because I think Columbus has so much potential. And it's welcomed me with open arms, and I want other people to have that same feeling.
Well, Becca, I've had so much fun talking to you, and even off camera, we had fun talking. And I just hope and pray that win or lose, wherever life takes you, that you keep the same heart, because you seem to have such a pure heart. You seem to have such a genuine heart, and I can't wait to see what goes on in your life. So thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure, and you are part of the reason that makes Columbus so special, having people like you. So
I appreciate that.
Let's make sure we both stick around.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brought to you by MSW Productions.